Hello, you are listening to
That's such a you hello, you know.
Hello.
Hello. Hello. I did that.
Hello.
That is such a you hello.
Alright, fine. I think this is an alright volume. It's that time of week again. It's time for your weekly therapy session
Oh, be quiet.
with the
Hi,
Little Things in
guys.
Life podcast. How you doing? I'm Tom.
I'm Katie.
Episode 3.
We've made it even further.
And it is Thursday evening this time.
Yeah. Yep.
It's a bit late on a Thursday evening.
Well, we did it early on a Friday morning. Now it's late on a Thursday evening.
The time is 11:22. God, double numbers. 1122. if
Well,
it's-
23:22.
Yeah, but that means...
But it's
11.
literally just changed to 23:23.
Well, we have to use this
It
recording
really is
now.
the little things in life.
Yeah, let's just hope this is the final version. Well, we're here despite the coronavirus.
Yeah.
We continue to grace the airways.
Despite the fears of all families around the UK thinking should their children still be at uni, aka my mum and dad. Why
Yeah.
am I still here?
I think you can always rely. To be fair, this podcast, they're pretty much the only thing that can carry on in self-isolation fairly, unaffected.
Wow.
You could just shout from your room and we could just put the microphone in the middle.
I'll go on the phone.
Would you Skype chat? Yeah, I think if we had to
can-
go
yeah,
into
yeah.
self-isolation...
But if we've both got it, we've both got it.
Yeah. But if you have to go in self-isolation, we'll be able to do episodes every single day.
Oh, and all the excitement. I know you'll all love that.
So let's... one thing we didn't do last episode was
Yes.
when we mentioned we had social media pages.
Yeah,
now,
and we were like, right, we need to make sure we mention this.
we told you we had them, but we didn't tell you what they were.
Cheeky little bit of Instagram.
Yes, what is the name of our Instagram?
The Little Things in Life podcast.
Is it?
I believe so.
Well, the Twitter is at TLTIL podcast, which is the Little Things in Life podcast, but
Well done, Tom.
initialised. It's
No.
an initialism.
Yeah, and the the Instagram is the Little Things in Life podcast.
We don't have a Snapchat though, to be fair. Do you think?
No,
that's
I
getting a
think
bit
that's
excessive.
a bit OTT.
But yes,
Over the top for those of you that don't know.
the slang. Yes, this week we got you to send in some suggestions that we're going to talk about. We've got quite
Yeah,
we're not talking about any of those suggestions this week, but we'll keep them in mind for future episodes. We've got quite a few good ones. Keep them coming. You can also email us. I don't know why you'd want to. But when you listen to the radio, sometimes
What's
they go...
our email, Tom?
Our email is littlethingsinlifepodcast@gmail.com. I don't know why you'd email us, but we will read it if you do.
If you want to be a little bit different, a little bit quirky, we will be there.
Yes. Well, we
I
will listen.
Well, how will we listen to an email?
Well, we're listening to what they're saying in the email.
Yes, I suppose.
God, it really is late on a Thursday night. Also, we are now on Google Play
Yeah.
Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Apple Music / iTunes.
Yeah, iTunes.
I think, is it not Apple Music?
I don't
no.
think-
Okay,
I'm
we
not
don't
really
even know what we're on, but we're still not quite on Spotify yet.
No, Spotify is just not letting this happen.
We'll have to
We
drop
want to go
Sloan
far.
another email.
So many people have said, "Can you get it on Spotify?" We are trying.
We are trying.
We have tried our best.
Well, we've applied. We applied to go on Spotify first, but we
God,
never
this
heard anything back.
takes me back to applying to uni, just not hearing back for a long time, or applying for year abroad
Yeah, I was
jobs.
just going to say.
At least we've not been rejected. Definitely don't know how that feels.
Is there anything to clarify about last episode? It was a bit dry because we were basically having a repeated conversation that we'd had the night before.
Yeah. When you said about the dream you had about Daniel, the first time I heard that, I absolutely howled.
We do still have that recording though, so I could release that as just a sound bite of just your initial reaction. Because then when I said it in the second episode, you laughed.
I saw the shock on
Before.
your face.
Yeah.
I literally did not give the good reaction.
We'll find it and I'll put it as a little soundbite on the Instagram for you to enjoy.
Oh, thank you.
And I did listen back to the original recording. You know, when I was I couldn't remember what I said, the succinct thing about you going my parents always put themselves before me.
Yes.
What I said,
back to the first about the first
yeah.
episode.
What I said is, it's really nice that your parents didn't let you ruin their lives. And last episode, I was sort of stood there going because that was basically what I was trying to say.
So this is why it's better to just get it over and done with the first time and not mess up.
Yeah, but it's like they had a good time. They managed to put themselves first, despite the responsibility that childhood brings.
Suppose that's how you could see
I
it.
think there's positives in that.
Good way of thinking about it. But in terms of when we put the question out on the Instagram, we will put things out each week on the Instagram. People did get back in touch about what their biggest fear was.
Oh yes, I forgot about that. Yes.
So Eileen, she got back to us saying needles, which is a lot of people's, and I forgot to say this is also mine. I have an issue with injections.
It depends on the needle, though.
Well,
as a type 1 diabetic,
you have diabetes?
I inject every day, and like I'm not afraid of my needles, but like going to have flu jabs, I'm still a bit scared of. And having like blood tests where they're like taking stuff out of you, that really scares me.
Yeah.
I'm fine when they put it in. I don't like it when they take stuff out. But yeah, no, that's I suppose
that is
that's
a really
quite a
good
common
suggestion.
one.
Like that is a lot of people. Yeah, I hate injections.
We had Lucy Howard saying she was very afraid of heights, which was one we never touched on. Josh Finch said the same.
But personally, I'm not afraid of heights.
No.
In case you didn't know, I climbed Snowdon last year. I absolutely loved it.
I think I'm a little bit. I'm not. I think I used to be very scared of heights. I think I've got better recently. I used to be very scared of flying, ironically. As someone who's obsessed with planes, I think that was part of the appeal. They were so like terrifying. I was like,
you just loved it.
Gave me what's the word?
A
rush.
Yeah, you hated it, but you also loved it.
Yeah,
a little bit of an oxymoron type of thing.
As well as heights. Josh Finch said he was afraid of wasps. I mentioned spiders. Wasps aren't particularly pleasant creatures, to be fair. I can understand that fear.
Yeah.
Ethan Richards shared my shared your fear of dying alone.
Yeah, thank you, Ethan Richards. Much appreciated.
Drummer of Interlude.
Did you know Tom's in a band?
I was actually like genuinely trying to hold in a burp there. I wasn't trying to like cough as if, yeah.
Tom Cudahy, I found this one quite interesting. Say about his fear is graduating and not being able to find a decent job at the end of it, despite being in masses of debt.
Yes, I suppose this
goes
back to our theme of security from episode 1.
So true.
Here we are in episode 3. Seems like a long time ago
really
now.
It does. Well, it is 3 weeks ago.
Yes, I mean, I get that much.
I think I would have made that really loud then. I
didn't see the light go red, but we'll see.
But no, I think, Tom, I completely agree with you there. Like, that is a thing.
Yeah.
But obviously it depends how much you're earning. You know, you've got to earn over a certain amount. You've got to earn over 25k at the moment. That's probably going to go up.
Yeah, because they say that like your loan and your debt from going to university isn't like real money, because it doesn't stop you from getting mortgages and credit cards and stuff, I don't think.
No, it doesn't.
And obviously after a certain time it goes anyway, and it only comes out of like how much you get paid. So fear not, Tom, everything's going to be okay.
I think that's all he wants to hear. From one Tom to another Tom.
Yeah, and you know, maybe if we ever see a Labour government, they may be abolished completely.
Who knows?
That's a whole new episode.
Oh gosh.
Do you have any more?
No.
My personal favourite was Jake Tappings, which he just said Jup and a speaker. I think just Jup and an aux cable is enough to send anyone running.
Housemate Jup, speaker, £300. Say no more. Sorry, like £320.
The quickest way to kill a prees.
Yeah.
He used to be actually really good. He's letting himself go now, recently.
Let's see if he listens to this, and let's wait for a reaction.
Yeah. I did think of a good fear, though, the other day. That I thought...
Yes, you did.
Reading my mind, Katie.
Well, I remember you saying...
having your house burned down.
Yeah.
I think. Like, that's quite sad. Like, everything you own in your house just burns and you lose everything. That's quite a rational fear. You know, every time I leave my room, I turn off all the plugs apart from my fridge for insulin.
That's really good, and that's also really good for the environment.
But I'm doing it because I'm worried about fire.
You're selfish.
Yeah.
Well, actually...
I leave the radiators on, fuck the polar bears, no jokes, I turn them off.
That's actually selfless, because there are 6 of us that live in this house, and it wouldn't just be your stuff that's getting burnt. I have myself had panic. I think a lot of girls when you leave the house and you think you've left your straighteners or your curlers on, that is a massive fear. Like, especially at home when I went to school, I'd be like, oh no. And in mornings at school, I remember friend Beth saying, oh my gosh, I think I've left my straighteners on.
Yeah, gosh, boys didn't have that.
No.
No,
Well,
we
you
still
don't
had.
straighten your hair.
No. People used to leave the oven on in uni first year. No one's done that this year though. Who was it who left something in the oven and turned to literal ash?
Last year?
Yeah, it was like a chicken thing, probably thing.
I can't remember.
I don't know. I can't remember.
I can't remember either.
But
What a
people
great
used to live.
story.
People always used to leave the electric hobs on and stuff.
Oh yeah. And I remember last year, because it was electric hobs and all I'd ever had at home was gas. You know, in this little house that I live in North Wales, in the outback.
I thought it was just cold.
I remember not fully understanding how you had to switch it on at the wall. And then there were so many times where
Why is the water not boiling?
And I remember looking around thinking, oh my gosh, all these people are going to think I'm so stupid. Oh my God, they're going to judge me so hard. And then there was one time I needed to check if I'd switched it on, and I put my hand on the hob and I burnt my hand.
Oh my God, that's like the golden rule. If that's the only thing you should learn in like middle school science, you don't test how hot things are by just touching
And then
it.
I remember going into uni the next day telling everyone, but I didn't tell everyone in the home. So,
Yeah.
but it's a hard life. Someone's got to live it, and that
Precisely.
person is me.
It used to be a running joke though, where you just flick off the hob, like you flick off the switch when someone was cooking.
Oh, that's a classic joke, isn't it?
Oh, it used to be really annoying.
Do you mean last year?
Yeah.
Well, obviously I remember it well.
Oh, maybe I didn't do it to you. To be fair, I think. Well, I remember it well.
Well, I don't.
Only since talking about it though. Anyway,
I was about to say, move on from that now.
another episode, another week, another day.
It's a new dawn.
Did you get out to anything cool this week?
This week I wouldn't say it's been a particularly exciting week.
What about this weekend? Last weekend?
That isn't this week. That's last weekend.
But
You've said it yourself.
But it's happened since the last podcast episode.
Yeah, but I class this week as Monday to now.
Well, then we'll never talk about weekends.
Well, let's include the last week. We had a great weekend. Big birthday bash for Beth.
Has to be done.
BBB, as they say. My friends from home, Beth's friends from home, our friends from home came. It was great. Had a smashing time.
Had a boogie at Funkademia.
Mint Lounge, Northern Quarter. Amazing place.
It dawned on me though on the way to rugby today that might be the last time we as a house go to a Funkademia. Do you think?
Oh, so Funkademia is probably our favourite place to go. It's on a Saturday
As a
night.
house, collectively. Well, now Kiki's has gone. Rest in peace.
R.I.P. Yeah,
Saturday nights will never be the same.
No, they won't. But we live and we learn. We'll have to go try and check out the new place where Kiki's is
It better be
replaced.
just as good.
Kiki's is a nightclub on Canal Street, and sadly, that is no longer there.
With us.
It is actually really upsetting. This isn't a
Yeah.
joke. This isn't a drill. I think I could get tears in my eyes right now. Literal tears.
It's like when you're talking about the time your fear of dying alone.
Oh, don't, Tom. Or talk about when my brothers would have gone to war if we were around. But anyway, let's not go down into that. I want to talk about today.
Yes.
Today hasn't been a good day.
No.
The weather's been all right today, which has been a positive.
It did rain at times. You were probably in bed when it was raining.
No, I was up and out today.
It has rained. It was
I
raining.
don't know what you're making me out to be. I was up and out at uni today. I had French. 2 of us in the class. Anyway, we move. Woke up this morning, jumped out of bed. No. Went to the kitchen, had my
I
breakfast.
didn't get that.
It's a song.
Okay.
Had my breakfast, was doing a really nice breakfast, turned my egg over, it was a fried egg, ruined the yolk, that went everywhere. Then I was trying to move my couscous from last night and my bag, that fell all over the floor. Then I proceeded to go to my room. Obviously, I was still scarred from the events that had already happened. My bottle of water fell all over the floor. And then this evening, fast forward a long time, this evening my favourite mug broke. My favourite mug, which is the best daughter in the world mug, that I had to buy myself because my mum wouldn't buy it for me.
That's got to be the saddest thing
Imagine
ever.
being 7 years old and your mother saying, no, this mug cost £1. And she said no. Anyway, fast forward to 2020, 13 years later, Zed mug is cracked.
God,
It's really sad.
devastating.
Didn't tell my mum because she probably wouldn't care. Jokes, mum, love you. That's been my day.
Yeah. Well, yeah, not ideal. My day's
Not ideal, is that all you have to say?
No,
that
you
mug-
bought yourself a world's best daughter mug. I'm surprised it's lasted this long. Also, you bleach your mugs, don't you? Because you just
When
don't.
there's tea
Because you
stains.
don't wash up. Yeah,
don't say that.
I've never had a tea stain in any of my mugs.
If you leave tea in a mug for a long time, it will stain. Have you ever stained a piece of paper when you were younger, like in history or something, to give the effect? Tea stained paper.
Why don't you? Why don't why
Don't be
revolutionary.
condescending here,
Why
Tom.
don't you finish the cup of tea and then wash up the cup?
Because I drink my tea when it's hot, when it's piping hot, or I don't drink it all, and that is
Then
it.
you just, as soon as it's cold, you throw it away and wash it
Yeah,
up.
but some of us are on the go and busy with their life. I'm a businesswoman, Tom.
Good God.
I'm on my way to uni and I've forgotten about that mug in my room.
Well, these things happen.
They
We
really
move
do.
on, like you just said.
We move, yes.
To be
we
fair,
do.
your disastrous day doesn't bode well for the podcast. But to be fair, we've made it to 16 minutes. And
But the
we
fact
haven't
that you're
messed up.
mentioning the time suggests that you're worrying.
No, I think it's going really well. I think we're on a roll.
Right, don't get too big for your boots, okay?
Jokes.
And your day, go on. I
My
cannot wait to
day-
hear all about it.
My day got off to a cracking start.
Oh, crack it!
It was a Thursday morning. Now, yesterday, speaking of mugs, Katie, no.
Oi!
I got a new espresso cup the other day
Oh,
because
yes.
because Becky broke my birthday present. But
Who
it's all
bought
right.
you that birthday present?
You got me that birthday
I
present.
did.
Yes. But yeah, Becky broke it. So I got myself a replacement one, a lovely little espresso mug.
Where from?
Stream Green.
It's a really good place in
It is.
Manchester.
I think it is literally pronounced like that.
It's like a Swedish brand, I think.
Yeah, I think it's It's sort of middle-aged mums heaven,
Yeah, I would say that because,
or middle-class teenagers.
yeah.
I really like it.
You fit into both of those.
It's like, yeah, it's
categories.
like an indie alternative to like Fortnum and Masons, like a cheap indie minimalist Fortnum and Masons,
Yeah,
because they've got like,
minimalist. I think that's the perfect word
because it's
for
not
it.
super posh.
It's just got lots of bits and bobs, like from I don't know. There's like tea.
Yeah, you can smell all the different types of tea.
Oh,
Lots of candles and like just pots and stuff.
Yeah.
Weird ceramics, arty things,
Like, I bought-
wine glasses.
exactly. It's just so much nice
Plates.
stuff, and it's really reasonable.
Chili mayonnaise, that's what caught our eye
Yeah,
this week.
it
Chili
did.
mayonnaise. It
I
was
bought-
like orange and red.
It was bizarre.
Mm.
I bought some lovely mango tea, which I do have right now.
It just smells like
nice.
chewing gum, like the orange Trident chewing gum. I used to get that all the time at newsagents on holiday. It's taking me back to Bedruthen,
Oh,
going
sorry.
swimming and playing pool and getting sweaty.
Oh god. Well, I think it's really nice. Tastes a little bit like pineapple though. I wouldn't say it's mango, but we move.
Anyway, my new mug. It's a Thursday. Started my Thursday with a coffee. Shout out to Coffee Thursday. Keeping up the tradition. And then on my way to uni, just minding my own business, loving life. And then I dropped my phone on, you know how like at pedestrian crossings they have those like knobbly bits for blind people,
Knobbly
so they
bits.
know where to cross the road.
Knobbly knees and turned out toes. I do know the ones.
Yeah, well,
Sorry to throw you there.
I dropped my phone onto like one of the knobbly bits. So like normally I think the case would have saved it, but the knobbly bit like caught my phone has just cracked the top right hand corner.
I actually think
basically, if blind people didn't exist, it would have happened. Joking. Well, I'm not joking.
Don't speak about me like that.
That might have been the case. And then went to Sainsbury's on the way back. There's no loo roll.
Yeah.
And then Green Velvet got cancelled.
So yeah, we're supposed to be seeing Green Velvet on Saturday. I have been saying all week, you know, it's going to be called off. And what you know. And the football got cancelled yesterday.
I was supposed to be seeing Man City, Arsenal, yeah. Goodness gracious. And this is about as disappointing as my avocado at the weekend. From 256, avocado on toast. That was a piss take. My
256, we went there, all of us, for a lovely breakfast. Tom waited the longest out of everyone to get probably the worst breakfast I think I've ever seen.
I think I could have made much better avocado and poached egg on toast. It's like they'd literally just gone to the corner shop.
Yeah. They didn't even apologise.
I know. I was like, if I wasn't as hungover and tired, I think I would have been like, giving my fucking money back. This is ridiculous.
Wow.
Considering everyone else's was so nice looking, and mine was. It was like it was from I don't know. It was like a kid had made mine, and then like a chef had made everyone else's.
I had a dazzling roast dinner. It was absolutely out of this world. Euphoric, some may say.
It was absolutely. Yeah, it looked lovely.
Honestly, though, no word of a lie, the flavours in that roast was something else.
Also, what happened this week, though? We went on an eco-bus. It did actually happen.
Yes!
We spoke about it in the last episode.
Yep.
Yeah, it was an absolutely fantastic experience. Rides like the wind. It was silent, it was quick, it was clean, it was green.
I must say, Tom's jaw did drop.
It was like...
I saw that happen.
It was like stepping into the future. It was fantastic. No, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was very good.
I'm glad to hear it.
5 out of 5.
Wow.
Would recommend. Well, actually, no, it was more expensive than a normal bus.
Yeah, it was 50p more.
Is that
Magic Bus?
Are there Magic Bus green ones? Not yet.
No.
Soon to come.
No. So Magic Buses are still $150 a single, I believe.
Yeah.
But I have a bus pass, so. So, this week I was speaking to my dad, and he was saying, you know, this podcast, he was like, it's called The Little Things in Life. Why don't you talk about some little things in life that, you know, happen to you? And I thought about this. I spoke to Tom, and, you know, each week, usually there are some things that make me think, oh, that, you know, that's really nice. That's really considerate, blah, blah, blah. For example, the other week, I was in Sainsbury's, and I was off to a party, and I had a bag with me. Well, I thought I had a bag with me, but I forgot it. I left it at the house, and I called the house, and Daniel said he was going to meet me halfway to give me my stuff. And in said bag, he put a packet of Polos, a bottle of water, and an apple.
What a creep.
That's not...
Nah, I'm joking. That's lovely.
Isn't that lovely?
What, recently?
Yeah, like 2 weeks ago. Isn't that nice? And I just thought, God, he just... You know, he didn't have to meet me, and he didn't have to give me those things. Like, those Polos were just what I needed that night. Like, it was so nice. It was so nice. And then yesterday, was meeting Tom at Central Library.
Just bumped into each other outside Lidl.
Well, he was going to Lidl about 1ish, and I was like, right, I'll nip to Lidl before I go to the library. And then when I was in Lidl, there was a little bit of a scrap going on. Someone was in there giving the security guard a bit of beef.
I wasn't involved.
Oh.
Go on, hit him. No,
and so I was paying for my bits and bobs, and I was thinking, oh gosh, like, what's going on here? Better get out quick. So then I was just by the exit thinking, oh, Tom might be here around now. And I was looking round, and I was just by the exit and entrance for Lidl, and some really nice man tapped on my shoulder, and I was like, oh, sorry, are you okay? And he was like, oh, I wouldn't stand there, love. Some man is just about to come out of Lidl, and he doesn't look very happy, like he looks quite angry. He hadn't been in Lidl, he literally just walked past, and I moved out the way. Next thing I know, this angry man comes out of Lidl, spits on the floor, smashes on the window in Lidl, carries on walking by. I was just like, God, this man's really nice.
Yeah.
Do you think that's a little thing?
Then emerging from the distance came me on the phone to Mum and Dad.
Aww.
Yeah, no, it was very bizarre. Your fate, you were just in such a state of confusion.
It was just, I just thought, do you know what? That is lovely. That man didn't need to say something, but he did.
It is the little things.
And that probably made my day yesterday.
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't have any stories quite like that.
Well, you don't have to. You know, things like this probably won't happen, but that is just a little thing that's happened in my life this week.
I had a little thing that made me laugh today.
Okay.
Well, not really that made me laugh, but I had a little. It's just a story basically that I'm just going to
Little
tell.
anecdote.
Me and Danny went to.
Danny and I
had some. Oh God! Had some wings. Our Thursday tradition after our 9 till 5.
What a way to make a living.
Went to get some wings. I ordered a Diet Coke or Coke Zero. Being a diabetic, it's just you don't have to inject for it basically. But when I got it, it tasted quite sweet, and I didn't know if it was diet or not. And I thought, because I don't really want to ask and like make me another one, I decided just to give it a blood test. Like, you know how
Give the drink a blood test.
Yeah, like so. Normally my blood strip sucks up my blood, but it sucks up the Coke. So I did that, and normally when I've done this before, normally what you're expecting is like it either says like LO, like there's no sugar, so go to the hospital immediately. Basically, it's like as if it's blood, or it goes like a ridiculously high number because Coke's quite sugary. But it came out at 3.1, which is low, but it's not zero sugar. So I was a bit like, well, this hasn't helped me at all.
No.
But I drank it anyway and I was fine. But I was not expecting,
You thought you'd have one or the other.
yeah, well normally I have one or the other. But yeah, top tip, diabetics out there, if you don't know if your drink is sugar-free, I've done it for jam as well. If you don't know if it's sugar-free or not, give it a blood test.
That is a very good tip.
Yeah.
You know, for all our diabetic listeners, when this blows up.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, there literally no one who's diabetic listens.
We will get diabetic listeners listening. Lots of L's. You're our number one fan.
That's my top tip. So let's get, without further ado, let's get to the meat, the filling that is the panini of the Little Things in Life podcast.
So,
today's question. I'm struggling with my earphones. I think I sorted.
This week's question: if you could live in any time period, when would it be, and why? Ooh.
Think now. Also, whilst we're talking, think yourself. Send in what you think to our Instagram page.
Yeah.
Or Twitter, or email, and you might get featured next week. So,
do you want to go first?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I couldn't think of one definitive answer. But I came up with some. Well, other than like recent history, I would quite like to have been a Roman. Like an affluent Roman with a nice villa, maybe a few slaves.
Of course you would.
I just like I'd what are those like chair things that people lay on?
Chaise lounge.
Yes, I'd lay on one of those
chaise lounge
and be fed grapes. But I'd have to be, as long as I'd be like quite an affluent member of society. I wouldn't want to be like a poor person.
Of course not.
And watch gladiators kill each other.
I used to think that chaise lounge. I don't know. I thought they were from Chaise Lounge. I never knew that was.
Does sound like a sort of pop singer name.
But yeah, sorry. Carry on.
Yeah. Also, you'd assume that your friends go to, so you just like whatever period. You're not just going to a time period by yourself.
Oh yes.
Just so you don't go this. Just so you don't go like, I want to stay in this time period because I'm really happy with like everything.
Yeah.
Everything that you care about would come with you to that time period. And obviously for me, there'd be a ready supply of insulin.
Obviously.
But then also I was thinking I'd really have liked to have been a teenager in like the 90s or 2000s. Like growing up with like the Strokes and Oasis.
Of
like
course.
The euphoria of going to a proper like peak Strokes or peak Oasis gigs would have been absolutely amazing. But then I suppose like the biggest difference between like being a teenager in like the 2000s or the 90s compared to now would be like the absence of social media.
And the technology now.
Yeah.
Just basically any time period before then.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, because you like also like being a greaser in like American sort of like 50s and 60s, like driving motorcycles. That'd have been sick.
yeah.
Or just being in the UK during like peak Cold War because of the planes, and you're not like, you don't have the fear that you would of the Second World War that you'd be bombed.
Imagine Second World War, everyone's got their phones out. Oh, I can see on his Snapchat location where he is. Come find me.
Yeah,
Okay, that's
no,
not
I can't.
funny.
I
This
can't
is a
imagine that. Or like the 70s, like peak Beatles.
See,
Like, but I was just imagining like this age. I've basically just covered everything from the Romans and then to the 50s onwards, basically.
But you've not mentioned the time period that I would want to live in is the 80s. You've mentioned the 70s, 90s, 2000s.
And 50s and 60s.
Yeah.
Okay, I would say a teenager in the 90s if I had to pick one of them. It's like, oh. But then you wouldn't. You think I've got to pick between Oasis or the Strokes.
God knows. 2000s.
Okay, teenager in the 2000s.
Really?
Oh, but no, because then you got the 2008 financial crisis. No, we'll go
God,
90s. We'll
was
go
a hard
90s.
time.
We'll go 90s.
I remember it well.
Yeah. What about you, Katie?
Well, I'd say 80s.
Yeah.
I do think that just seemed like a very fun time to be around.
Yeah, I think we're assuming we are this age as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would want to be in the 80s now with like George Michael being around. Like that would be. I would just love that.
What are the suits, the like full body suits that they wore? What are they called? I can't remember. The really flammable ones.
Not like the hot pants and stuff,
Oh.
with like the.
The
Are
leggings.
you talking about the
sweatband things.
sweatbands and stuff?
And like frizzy hair.
That is.
Leggings. Yeah, no, I'm not talking about that. I can't remember.
But like there's Queen in the 80s as well.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah, no, I think that was a
I would
good
love
time. Like pop culture, I think
Is though,
was better back then.
we have both chosen our time periods around music.
Well, or we could say the 50s and 60s for Cold War planes.
True.
The RAF was brimming with fantastic aircraft in that time.
Right, we don't need to go down that route, Tom.
So sorry showing now, jokes. It's not too bad. But yeah, like I wouldn't want to go. I wouldn't want to be around in wartime. I don't think.
No.
Well, no, obviously I just wouldn't. And then like not too fussed about the Victorian era. Don't find the Saxons particularly sexy, or the Tudors
The sexy
particularly.
Saxons.
Tudors particularly interesting. No, I think, but
What
Romans.
about the Georgians?
Romans, nah, don't do it for me. The Georgians.
What about the Egyptians? Cleopatra.
But that was the same time as the Romans.
Sorry, I'm
But
not
just-
really very good. I haven't done history since year 9.
Well, Cleopatra dated Julius Caesar, didn't she? Or maybe it's that. I think that is the
Did
truth.
she slide into his DMs?
Or I think she sent him a letter. I don't know. Well, they must have met. They were dating.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
See how times would be different if they had technology.
Yeah. Do you feel though? So, would you choose to live in the 80s over this generation though? Because I think we've kind of thought of it as if you can't live in this generation. Everyone's always saying, "Oh, we're in the wrong generation," but are we really?
No, I'm happy with where I am.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think that this. Well, obviously you can't do anything about it.
No, and it's all we know. But do you think we've got it easier or harder?
I think more pressures, like uni-wise and stuff.
Did you think
Yeah, I do.
pressure because of what?
Pressure of it seemed to be that not everyone went to uni. Now a lot of people go to uni, and you feel like you have to get a good job.
Yeah.
Things I don't know. Things just sounded, not that they were easy. I'm not saying things were easy at all, but it's just not what people did as much.
Yeah.
Like it's just. I mean, I don't really know. I don't know much about it. So
But like, what about like? Yeah, no, I get what you're trying to say. I think we definitely got it easier than like people who were like teenagers, wartime teenagers. That's like without a doubt. But I'd say as time goes by, I think it's getting harder and harder. Like life as a teenager is getting harder and harder because like when you leave uni, or you, like for instance, like getting on the property ladder.
Oh yeah.
Is so much harder now than it used to be.
Oh, 100%.
Like in like 1995, the average wage was like 20,000. Now it's 26,000. But the average house price was like 70,000. Now it's just under 300,000.
Mm-hmm.
So house prices have increased over 4 times, whereas wages have increased 25%. So it's naturally a lot harder to just like get on the housing ladder, which is security.
Yeah.
You're living and you're living to pay off and you're getting your own capital. Our generation might not do that. We might be renting for the rest of our lives. Working to survive instead of like working to...
I was talking to my mum about working to survive today.
Yeah, it's a thing.
Yeah, it is. It really is. That's our life.
Instead of working to like pay off a mortgage and then have a bit of capital, which is like for most normal people like the biggest asset they can own.
Also depends what route you go down though. You know, some people leave school, go into a job straight away, earning.
Yeah.
Whereas
I think that makes sense. Like you think plumbers, no debt, and they're straight into earning loads of money.
Do you know what? I would love to know what trade I would love to know or be able to do. You're never gonna guess it.
Well, I was going to say plumbing because I've seen you get hair out of a plug hole and stick your hand in the bottom of a dishwasher and pull out loads of mucky water.
That's because I'm not scared like you boys in this house. No, plastering.
Oh,
that is a very good trade.
That is beautiful to watch.
Yeah, it really is. That is such a good trade to get into.
That is beautiful.
That costs a lot of money, and you would earn quite a bit of money.
I imagine it'd be so frustrating though, like initially, like to learn how to do it. But yeah, actually, plastering is beautiful.
Yeah.
Art.
Indeed. Like imagine doing a house up and just being able to plaster your own walls.
Yeah.
Get plastered.
Imagine being able to plaster your own walls.
God, where do you see yourself in 10 years?
Plastering
your own walls.
It is a skill. I don't know if I particularly envy the skill, but I certainly appreciate it. Like knitting. I'm not too fussed that I can't do it, but
that's such a difference from plastering to knitting.
Like when you see people who like my mum knitted that rug. Obviously, like that's amazing.
That's a beautiful.
But I'm not too fussed that I can't do it. But that is amazing.
It's not a rug, is it?
What's the difference between a rug and a blanket?
Well, you wouldn't put that on the floor. That would sort of.
That's a mat.
No,
I don't know.
That's a blanket.
Oh, well, I don't know.
If only the listeners could see said blanket.
We'll put a picture on the Instagram.
That is not a carpet because that would get ruined easily.
Well, I can tell you. I was telling you, it's not a carpet.
Oh, what?
That is not a carpet. Yeah. Okay, fairs. Right.
Oh, for God's sake!
Gosh, it's getting very late. It's actually midnight. It's 1 minute past midnight. We should probably call this to an end.
Can we just say, what did you say it was? Sorry, you called it a
rug.
It's not a rug, Tom.
Okay.
Tom.
Okay.
Learn from your mistakes. It's a blanket.
Well.
You'd put that over your bed. You wouldn't put that on the floor.
Okay. Fine.
Friendship break is beginning.
God. Self-isolation.
Starts now.
Perfect time for a friendship break. Okay, well, I think
that's everything today.
It is 1 minute past midnight. This is gonna be a long old episode.
Well.
You've been listening to
the Little Things in Life podcast.
She's been Katie.
He's been Tom.
And we didn't do it last episode, but to end on a little quote. Don't worry. It could be worse. Thanks for listening. See you next week.
Bye.